The James and Greg Show.
Hey, everybody out there. We're back. Greg and James. All right. And this time, this interview, I don't know, James, is this like the best? Can this be topped?
This is up there. This is way up there as far as like interviewing people.
Hi.
Yeah, pretty a rare gem, I would say.
Amazing. Amazing. I don't know about a rare gem because that's still something that you can visualize and fathom. This is something you can't even dream of, people. I mean, dude, an airman?
Yeah, not just any airman.
No, it's not just one of these guys. A Tuskegee Airman?
Well, these guys are not any other guys.
What are you saying? I wasn't a good Air Force guy? What are you trying to say? Yeah, this guy. Camera guy, you see? Look at that. Hey, Sammy. Anyway, listen, I'm your host, Greg L. Glass, and this is James. And that's K, right?
Karroum.
This guy's behind the scene. But if you want anybody filming anything, it's this guy, Sammy. So listen. Hey, Jim.
Yes.
Were you excited when I called you and told you what I found?
Yes, I was really excited.
Did I shock you?
I did. You did. You very much so.
I mean, because this one like superseded the other interviews that we had in line, you know?
Yeah, you're always upping me one up on the next one.
That's what I do. I think.
One up.
So listen, people, we're not going to take up much of your time BSing with this guy because he's got work to do. He's got to film this stuff. He's got to bring this phenomenal thing to you. So I'm Greg L. Glass, and this is Mr. James K. Karroum. We're going to go ahead and handle this and get this interview on the road, okay? Underway.
Thank you. I'm getting back right on camera.
And a lot of grandchildren, a lot of great-grandchildren. He's my baby and I'm his baby. We've been married many years. We got 5 boys and a lot of great-grand and grands. And we love Jesus. Oldest son is how old? You don't know? You're the star. I was born in 48. And then another one in 49. And on down the line, that's our last oldest one. The baby boy we just lost about 6 months ago in the service. So, how old are you? Well, tomorrow I was 84. 84 years young. How old are you?
I'll be 93 in July.
Congratulations, you're gonna be 93. Well, we've been married a long time, and I hope many more years to come.
All right, we're back, and I'm here with our most interesting guest. People, I am bringing you an original Tuskegee Airman from the western region of the United States. Now, that's something that a lot of people, including myself, have never even heard of. His name is Abraham. And I got to tell you, I'm totally excited about this. If I wasn't so wordy, I'd be lost for words. However, Mr. Abraham is totally interesting. He tells me things, or he's told me things about his initiation into these military, and after he got there, he told me things about how it was difficult to stay involved in it. And then his latter life after the service, it was also totally interesting, all perpetuated from becoming a Tuskegee Airman. So I bring you Mr. Abraham Thomas. How you doing?
Thank you. Very well, thanks.
Now, you're from Los Angeles, California, you were telling me. What was the name of the city you were from? I forgot.
It was called Watts at the time.
You're kidding me, right?
South LA. No,
They had a Watts? What year was this?
1941.
1941. Man, what type of anything was going on in 1941? Did they have cars back then?
Yes, certainly. It was a local area that had a high school and junior high school, several of them in the neighborhood.
And a popular.
It's called South LA now.
Okay, so it's Southern California or Southern LA right now. South Central is what I know.
Well, they call the whole area South Central, so we don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. Now, you said a high school and a junior high. Now, was this a one high school city at that time?
Yeah, one high school, including a junior high. High school and junior high.
1941. So, where was it to go? I mean, you're in LA. Were people trying to go back east at that time? What were your dreams and aspirations as a high school student?
Finish school, get a job. That's everybody's ambition.
Now, this is coming right out of the Depression. Am I correct?
Right.
Was it hard to find a job?
Almost impossible.
What was the population like in Los Angeles?
Well, it's hard to tell. You know, we weren't too interested in the population. We were interested in how our people in that area survived. So LA was like another world.
Another world. It sure is today. I mean, it's 2013, and it is truly another world. We're talking decades ago from 1941. I didn't ask you how old you were in 1941.
Let's see, 41. 39, I was 19, 40. I turned 21 and 41.
Oh, so you were born in the 20s, in the Great Depression era.
Yeah, I was born in 1920.
1920. Let me see. I don't got enough hands. Whoa.
93 in July.
Hear that, people? 93. Jesus. I don't know if I can do it. I mean, you bring shame to me. I was looking to just do 70 and just get out of here. Now, in 1941, you're 20 years old. You're a lad. You're post-teenager years. And what are you doing? I mean, you're not in high school, are you?
No, I'm in junior college at Compton, California.
Compton. Now, this is still Watts?
Well, that's 6 miles south of Watts, between Watts and Long Beach.
And at that time, I understand that Compton, Watts, it had no real quote-unquote fame as it does today in 2013.
Compton had a high school, 2 years of high school and 1 year, 2 years of college and 1 year of high school. So you could tell that, we were kind of mixed up.
Was it all black?
No. It was mixed.
With black, white, Mexican, Arab?
They were, yeah. Jordan High School in the area was mixed also. So we had desegregated by then, so to speak.
Oh, okay. So that was good because in the South it was still segregated, correct?
Yes, very much.
1941. Now, you're in junior college and you're taking up some courses there. Are these courses actually going your way? Are you looking to get gainfully employed?
Oh, yes. I thought I was. I was taking aeronautical drafting, and that was the first year it was being offered at Compton College. As far as I know, not offered anywhere else. I didn't know that I couldn't get a job as an aeronautical engineer.
Holy moly. Now, you're a smart guy. Nobody in their right mind would go into aeronautical engineering without having some type of intelligence level. Okay. So you were going to design planes.
Correct.
Howard Hughes, was he a byword at that time, or was he even thought of, or was he born?
No, he was active, but he was more active in racing aircraft and building aircraft.
Was he, somebody that you looked up to? Was he one of your idols?
No, he was an unknown to me. So on a field trip to visit his aircraft in Van Nuys. But he wasn't there, of course. Van Nuys was pretty segregated.
So Van Nuys, California, as we know today as San Fernando Valley, was segregated or was not segregated?
Well, as far as I know, it was segregated.
Meaning they're,
integrated.
yeah, I mean, thank you. This guy's sharp.
But we had no real concept of being able to get into the aircraft flying industry as such, because we couldn't afford to fly on our own, and there was the opportunity to fly was not offered in California, even though it was in Alabama, Chicago. Believe it or not.
Now, how did you know this?
Well, I didn't know it until after I joined the service. But Tuskegee was the Tuskegee Institute, and they had a lot of power. So the first training sessions were based in Tuskegee, Alabama.
Now, and who's going here?
That's just for black students. Tuskegee was a black college.
Oh, okay. And so black students could actually go here.
But nobody knew unless you were in that area.
So there wasn't a lot of publications or publicity or advertisement, commercialism.
No, I had written to a general on a hunch, I've forgotten his name now, and asked him about the possibilities of Negroes flying in the Army Air Corps, as it was called then. And he told me there was no one of color flying, but they were talking about it.
Now, Abraham, there was George Washington. There was Napoleon Bonaparte. There was a lot of firsts. There's Jackie Robinson. And you're telling me a man from Compton, Watts, decided to write a general and ask him a major question. Like, why isn't there any blacks flying? And did he write you back?
Yes, he did. I don't have the letter, but he did answer me. And was encouraging, saying that at least they were working on it through Congress.
What year is this?
It's 1940.
My goodness. Now, that had to have some profound effect on you as far as you not giving up.
Yes, it was encouraging to that extent. And he was frank enough to admit there were no blacks in the military Air Corps.
In other words, you mean frank by he told you the truth.
Yeah. No, I continued my education. And before a year passed, the word came out, it was in the black newspapers, that they were accepting blacks in the U.S. Army Air.
Now, this isn't a matter of months after your letter, I would understand.
Well, it's been 6 months to a year, something like that.
So the letter, do you think it had any effect on the United States of America posting such an editorial about blacks being offered a position?
No, they were already working on it. They just didn't tell anybody but the congressmen and senators and people at Tuskegee and some of the bigger black Southern Institute universities. You'd never heard about it on the West Coast.
Now, Tuskegee Institute, is that the same place where George Washington Carver did a lot of things with the peanut?
Yes, that's the place, and it was quite, prevalent for them to be up front and leading. There were blacks flying who could afford it.
Okay, let's get back to the afford part. Now, how did they get their finances?
They had to be rich.
Were blacks rich in the 40s? Crop duster flying, or which is farming?
No, they were just out having fun.
Really? So it was recreation?
There was no future for it, but at least they were recreation flying.
That's a history lesson for me. I didn't even think they had blacks as passengers.
Well, they probably didn't have too many because there weren't people who could afford to fly. And a 3-day ride on the train from California to Tuskegee is no fun.
For his country. I mean, he wants to fly and risk his life for his country. And did that ever come about?
No. Once you're in the Army, as an enlisted person, you have no chance, almost no chance, unless you know somebody.
So you're saying that you become the property of the United States Army. If they want to do whatever they want to do to you, they can. Now, you're a very intelligent man, and eager to be where you are. You caught a train in Riverside to enlist, and you're in Chicago. You train there. Now you're in Tuskegee, Alabama, at the Institute. They're ready to go, and you're learning to fly, right?
No, I've already got an occupation assignment. I'm an aircraft mechanic from now on, until something grand and wondrous happens, which didn't happen for me.
Are you a Tuskegee Airman who couldn't fly?
I could not fly. I dare not fly because the service says, hey, you're an enlisted personnel, and you've been trained to do a certain job, and that's as far as we're concerned.
Well, what about if they need you in the air to combat and fight the Japanese?
Well, very few of us who had trained were allowed to fly. There were some fortunate ones. I say fortunate because the guy that enlisted with me, he got out of the military part of it and was working at another branch. And he later got a chance to fly, but he was well known to the colonel that was in charge of the air base. So he did get a chance to fly.
So he talked his way into the pilot seat. Well,
You're in their hands.
So are you upset about not being able to fly? Because, I mean, the service provides lifestyles for certain people.
Yes, I was very disappointed and miserable, to tell the truth. But I had asked for it. They didn't promise me that I could fly. They didn't promise me anything. So
you put the wheels on the plane?
Oh yeah, take care of the engines, service the aircraft, give it its inspection every 100 hours, every 25 hours, as long as it would fly. Staff sergeant, as far as you could get, unless somebody died ahead of you, and we were all basically the same age, so the hopes of that were not very good.
Faulty planes. You did your best at what you did, right?
You did your job. You did your job. You became expert at it, and nobody could take that away from you. Separate quarters. They had officers' quarters. We had enlisted men's quarters.
Well, according to the movies, they were all in the same bunkers. Did you go back and pursue your aeronautical engineering dream?
No, I tried to get into USC for engineering, and they told me they had a 6-year waiting list. So you can believe I didn't wait for them to. I went back to Pepperdine University, and I'm still a little disappointed, but hey, life has got to be lived, you know. So I'm enjoying life as best I can.
Well, it seems like you have a good life to me. I mean, you've got a beautiful wife, a beautiful home, you drive good cars, you eat well, you've lived for a long, long time, you have great medical and dental vision care, and that's an awesome life. I mean, you got third world countries now that you're lucky to have a good pair of shoes. You got some parts of Africa that have no water. You got some areas in the world where they're fighting every day. You got to watch out that you're not bombed when you go out of your house. You got ravishing of animals and pestilence and poisonous, venomous snakes and things of that nature in some countries that you have to live with, you have to sleep with. So you do have a good life. But you never became an engineer.
No. Never did get into engineering school because there's such an established waiting list at most places that qualify for teaching engineering. So I never did get there.
Well, I want to show this book to the camera, because this book is what he was reading as I came to get him ready for this interview. And it says Lonely Eagles. It's a story of America's Black Air Force in World War II. World War II, is that 1940s?
41 to 45, yeah.
Okay. It seems like your heart is still in flying. Would you?
Sure. I have neighbors who have children in the service who've just retired from the service, but they were not pilots. They were enlisted personnel just like I was. I don't know if it's timing or luck or what that inspires people to do certain things and stick with it for 30 years. I couldn't have done that myself, but my neighbor has 2 boys in the service in the Air Force, and they've reached retirement age. So, can you?
Maybe you were an influence on him. Lieutenant General Benjamin O. Davis, Jr.?
Yes. So, to spend 4 years in the military, going through school in silence.
Baba.